Hey guys, what's going on? Eric or Isaiah53 here, and today I have some Call of Duty Black Ops 3 beta gameplay for you from the PlayStation 4. Now for those of you who follow my channel, you know I do not currently own a PlayStation 4. I have an Xbox One and an Xbox 360. However, I do have several friends who do own a PlayStation 4, and one of those friends was nice enough to invite me over to his house and allow me to play on his system and record some beta gameplay for you guys so that I could put it on the channel. So I really do hope that you enjoy this video, and I really do hope that you enjoy the gameplay. Now, I took my capture card over and I did have some technical difficulties. I was able to play for about 3 hours, and I didn't find out until after the fact that my capture card only captured the last hour of gameplay. And unfortunately, that was not my best hour of gameplay out of, the total time I was able to play, but it's still pretty solid gameplay all in all, and I think you guys are going to enjoy it, so just keep watching. The longer you watch, the better the gameplay is going to get. Now, without further ado, let's go ahead and hop on in and actually start talking about the beta itself. Now, out of every Call of Duty title, Black Ops 2 is by far my favorite Call of Duty. And so going into Black Ops 3 beta, I was very, very anxious. I had tons of high hopes and expectations for the game. And with my very limited interaction with the beta, I have to say, it did not disappoint at all whatsoever. And I'm not sugarcoating it. I'm not trying to pump it up. I'm not trying to make a good video where, you guys like it and sell something and, like my video. It's not about that. I'm being honest. And to prove that I'm being honest, I didn't like Advanced Warfare at all whatsoever, and that's why I don't have any Advanced Warfare videos up on my channel. And I know, let the hate mail come in, the bad comments and the dislikes, but I'm entitled to my opinion just like you are to yours. I didn't like Advanced Warfare. I just didn't. And initially when I first saw the gameplay and the trailer for Black Ops 3, I was very, very discouraged simply because it reminded me a lot of Advanced Warfare. Like, I thought it was going to be another Advanced Warfare, like exactly another Advanced Warfare. That's what I thought it was going to be. Now, the more that I, read articles about it, the more that I watched other people play gameplay, and when I was able actually to finally get my hands on the beta, it became very apparent that Black Ops 3 is definitely nothing like Advanced Warfare. In my opinion, it's much better, and I'm very, very happy with it. And so I want to start talking about a few things that really stood out to me about the beta. So first of all, the frame rate is awesome. I didn't have any lag. I didn't have any dropped frames. It felt very fluid. Everything ran really smoothly. Everything went really well all in all. Like, it was just awesome. The graphics, I think, looked really good, especially to be a beta. Also to be a first-person shooter. Just all in all, I thought the graphics were super awesome. Very clear. And it just really looks good. It honestly does. I was pretty disappointed with the graphics on Call of Duty Ghosts whenever it first came to next gen. I was like, oh, it's the first Call of Duty on next gen. It's gonna be awesome. And honestly, no, the graphics were just not that great. I ended up liking the game. It wasn't a great game by any means at all, but I did like the game. But the graphics were just not that great. But so far with Black Ops 3, I'm pretty pleased with the graphics. Now, something else that really stood out to me about the game, and this is not going to be new to you. If you're watching this video, chances are you've already played the beta, or you've read an article on the beta, or you have watched a video on the beta somewhere, or you've done all three, so this is not going to be news to you. However, actually reading about it and watching it is much different than actually experiencing it. I was able to play the beta, and I was able to utilize some of their new features with their specialist classes. And now their specialist classes is honestly, in my opinion, probably the biggest change that they implemented with Call of Duty. Let me explain what that means. So, there's several different specialist classes to choose from, and each one has two different perks, if you will. I'm using perks loosely there, but I'm just going to call them perks. One perk might be a special weapon, another perk might be a special ability. An example of a special weapon would be like a bow and arrow. An example of a special ability might be temporarily being immune to gunfire with the exception of a headshot. I think that's an actual ability. And so I wasn't able to mess around with every single specialist class, but I was able to mess around with about 3 or 4. And out of all the ones I was able to mess around with, I thoroughly enjoyed the Tempest class, or the Tempest weapon, which is part of the Prophet specialist class. Now, the Tempest weapon is a really long gun, and it's filled with electricity. And what happens is when you shoot it at an enemy, it kills the enemy upon impact. And then if there's any other enemies surrounding the target, then they will also be electrocuted. So one shot with a Tempest can essentially give you a double kill, triple kill, a multi-kill. And honestly, the first time I used it, I got like a double kill or a triple kill, and I was like, what just happened? I only shot at one guy. Well, that was because his teammate walked past him, and he, you know, ran into him, and, you know, he ended up getting electrocuted as well, and I was just like, wow, that is just so awesome. And so I really like that a lot. The bow and arrow was really fun to play with, especially whenever I actually, you know, figured out how to use it properly and I started getting some kills with it. But it actually does take some skill. It's not going to be something where people are just going to run around with it and do awesome. It actually does take some precision and some strategy and some skill for sure. So, you know, it's both a good and bad thing. You know, it's good because it makes the game balanced, but it's also bad because, you know, for people who just want to run around and just kill people, you know, well, you know, they're going to have to get good at it first. And another thing with a specialist class is in the bottom right hand corner you see a circle, and when it fills up it glows gold. And what happens is that circle can fill up by itself naturally over time, or the more points you gain, the faster it fills up, and then you have access to your weapon or your ability or whatever it may be. And honestly, that reminds me a lot of Destiny. I'm a big Destiny player. I really enjoy Destiny. And it simply reminds me of Destiny just because, you know, in Destiny, you have classes Titan, Warlock, Hunter, and each one of those have two subclasses. Well, it's the same thing here. You have a specialist class, and it has two different perks. And then, you know, when your supercharge in Destiny gets maxed out, or, you know, fills up and it's available to be used, it glows gold. And, you know, this specialist class glows gold as well. And then also the supercharge can level up naturally by itself over time, or the more points you earn, the faster it, you know, fills up. It's the same exact thing with the specialist class. And so I thought there was a lot of similarities there. I'm not saying anybody copied anybody or anything of that nature. I just thought it was interesting, and I also like it. I like it a lot. You know, if it's not broke, don't fix it. It worked fine for Destiny, so I don't see why it wouldn't work fine for Call of Duty as well. But to me, that's by far the biggest change that they implemented with this game. There might be, I mean, there will be obviously more changes that I'll notice as the final game comes out. But so far, that's the biggest change to me, and I have to say I honestly like it. Something else that really stood out to me was just the little things with the game. Like, for example, on this particular map that I'm playing, there's a pond, and this pond has several entrances and exits, and, you know, you can go from one side of the map to the other side of the map. You can go from outside to inside, and you can just pop up at random spots and, you know, start shooting the enemy team from multiple different angles. And so it's a new way to implement a new strategy, you know, as you're walking around the map and working with your team. And so I like that a lot, just because, you know, you can swim on top of water, you can swim underneath water, you can fight underneath water. Like, you can actually get into a gun battle underneath water. Later on, you're actually going to get to see me pick up a kill underneath water, and I think that's just super awesome. And then it made me realize, you know, how many more maps are going to come out in the final build of the game, and how many of those maps is going to have something like this pond. Maybe they might have a river or a lake, or maybe they might have a secret room somewhere, or a hidden trapdoor or something. You know, it really makes you wonder, you know, what else is going to be available, and so I'm super excited to see that. And then something else that they really added in here too, obviously, is, you know, the gameplay mechanics. You know, you can now run on walls, you can now jump up and down a little bit, you know, higher than usual. It's kind of like you got like a jetpack or a thruster pack on, if you will. If someone were to ask me, Eric, how does Call of Duty Black Ops 3 feel? I would say it feels like a traditional Call of Duty game mixed with Titanfall. Now, you PlayStation players may not be aware of what Titanfall is, but Titanfall is currently an exclusive to Xbox and PC, and next year with Titanfall 2, or whenever it comes out, it will, you know, reach out to PlayStation users as well. But basically, with Titanfall, you can run on walls, you can jump higher than, you know, the average person could. You have like a little bit of a jetpack as well, or a thruster pack, if you will. You're not exactly flying in the air, but you can jump high and, you know, and really gain some distance. And that's kind of what this game is in my opinion. It feels like Call of Duty mixed with Titanfall, and considering how I've played both games and I'm very familiar with both games, mixing the two together worked perfectly fine for me. I felt at home, honestly, simply because, you know, I'm just used to both games. So the mixture worked really well for me. I would actually halfway almost recommend that when the beta is no longer available and you're trying to prepare for Black Ops 3, you know, maybe taking some time out and playing Titanfall and getting used to the game mechanics there, just because, you know, there is a lot of similarities there. I would actually recommend doing that. I know a lot of people are going to think that might sound a little crazy, but to me, I mean, I see the similarities. And one other thing that I'm going to touch on real quickly is that score streaks are back, and that makes me happy. You know, with a lot of Call of Duty titles, they do kill streaks, and, you know, kill streaks is exactly what it sounds like. You know, you're rewarded based on how many kills you get without dying. Score streaks is the opposite. You're rewarded on how many points you can score without dying. So with kill streaks, nothing counts except for your kills, whereas with score streaks, everything counts. Anything that gives you a point of any kind, a base capture, an assist, a kill, everything counts toward your rewards. And I like that just because, you know, when you're competing online and you're playing competitively and you're working hard, you want to be rewarded for everything that you do. If you help a teammate kill someone and get an assist, you should be rewarded for that. So anyway, I'm just happy that's back. But alright guys, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit the thumbs up button. Let me know in the comments below what you think about Black Ops 3, if you're excited for it, if you're not excited for it, if you're going to buy it, if you're not going to buy it. And until next time guys, Isaiah out. Hey guys, thanks for checking out my video. I hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. Also, make sure you're following me on Twitter, and you can always catch me live streaming games on Twitch. The links will be in the description below. And until next time, this has been another video by Isaiah 53.